Everyone, this is Joanne here, and I'm bringing you my setup video for 2015 for my JenDori. You've probably seen, if you're not new to my channel, you've probably seen a few of my other videos starring my JenDori, and you'll probably be seeing a lot more videos this year on her as she changes and morphs into the planner that I know that she can be. But I'll just give you a quick little overview of her in case this is the first time you're seeing one of my videos. This is a leather, what most people are calling a JenDori or a FauxDori, taken after the Midori traveler notebooks. This is done by Jennifer Harvey, who previously, I believe her Etsy store is closed, but the good news is she is opening up her own website to actually sell these outside of Etsy. So she was previously Chic Sparrow on Etsy, and now we are patiently waiting for her to open her new store that's going to be on a website where she's going to be selling these online. So that's where I purchased this. I purchased it back in, I believe, October sometime, and was using it originally with the DIY fish inserts. But for 2015, what I wanted to do is I actually wanted to focus on using the actual traveler notebooks and customize and create my own planning system that's going to work for me, because I find that every time I try to find something on the internet, either a printable or no matter what type of version any of these planners are online, that they're just not suited for me. There's always something I'm not using. It's not set up just right. So I am going to be taking these first few months of 2015 and playing with doing things differently, setting things up differently, and seeing which one works for me. So I'm going to walk you through my setup that I have currently right now, and I just put a charm on it, which is a little purse, and I love purses and totes and everything like that, so I stuck that on there. I think I found that at Michael's. I think I found it at Michael's. Yeah, I think I did. So we're going to open up my notebook. Jennifer did this in a watercolor. It's very beautiful. It almost looks tie-dye-ish, and it has some purples and pinks and blues and greens, and she just did an awesome job with coloring this for me. This is a wide size, and it's called the Gemini is the type of leather for those of you who are doing it. It's a little bit rougher than the creme brulee, but I still love it. It's still very pliable. It still smells amazing. And so, yeah. So I have my notebook broke up into a few different sections. The first section is my bullet journal. The second section is my planner section. The third section, I'm calling this my brain dump. And then I added a fourth section, which I just stuck in here mainly to show you guys how many notebooks this wide can hold. But it was something that I have a little bit, I called it a little bit of this, and it's just a bunch of notes and jotting down things that I had in the past. I still need to go through these and figure out exactly what's in here. And then my last section here, I actually have a little receipt area where I can keep receipts and stuff, and I'll show you that in a minute. So back to my sections. We're going to start with one at a time. So my first section, what I did for every single one of these books, I should say, for the first two sections of these Moleskine notebooks, I have them surrounded by this is just a simple pocket folder that I folded up and created. It's got one pocket, two pockets, three pockets here, and then same here. There's a pocket here, pocket here and a pocket here. I watched a video, I believe it's Pocket Full of Vintage, did a video on this. If you would like to see my video on how I did mine, I had to adjust it slightly for measurements of this notebook. But I got these pocket folders from the dollar store. So they came like 3 in a pack, and I got this greenish color, and then I got this purplish mauvish color that I did this type of pocket folder with. So the main reason why I wanted to have a pocket folder to be associated with one of my books is like this first book I have labeled as my bullet journal. So I will be bullet journaling in this book, and like again, for now this is just 3M replaceable tape that can be pulled off and pulled on if I change my mind. So I just threw it on here that it's a bullet journal, and I can just start off with using this. And like I said, this is just scribbled on, you know, you can put your little check marks. I still need to get my bullet journal set up, but this is, and I'll explain to you why in a minute, because I don't just immediately put everything to my bullet journal. I first put it in my brain dump, and then from my brain dump it goes into the bullet journal. So I'll explain that whole process in a minute. But so the first section's the bullet, the second section's the planner section, and this is more, it's not necessarily, it is a planning section, somewhat forward planning, but mostly reflective time management, I guess is what I like to call it. You know, using some type of a spiral decks or a chronodex, mapping out what you did, you know, your checklist, what you did during the day, as far as, you know, if you have health and wellness goals, phone calls that you made, you know, little notes and stuff like that. So I also have my whole business being run, as far as my contacts and my emails and my calendar is all online. It's all through Gmail. I have a Google Calendar. It's on my phone. I don't really see the need to actually have a handwritten planner in paper form. But what I do like is I printed out my Google Calendar in a couple of different formats, and I tipped them in. So hopefully you guys will understand what I'm saying here, but excuse me. So what I did is, let's say this is my example of one page that I'm working on. So I have, this is my spiral decks of a particular day and how I'm spending my time during the day. I can go through this a little bit more, but I have like a different way of tracking my time based upon the life centers that surround our everyday lives, and I call them body, brain, spirit, time, people, and money. 6. So I try to see, I choose different colors for them so I can see how much I'm spending during the day in those different life centers, and then sleep would be a 7th. I got this idea from a book called The 1 Minute Millionaire, and also I was watching a video online that I saw another person was mentioning it, and it really sparked me to really just take notice and reflect on how I'm spending my time so I can better plan moving forward with my days. So long story short of it, that's my spiral decks, and right now I have some wellness stuff. You know, I use an app. I use Lose It for labeling and logging in my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So when I have done it, I'll put a check mark there. Making sure I wear my Fitbit, some medications that I have to take. I have an AM and PM pill. Did I actually make those? I have some supplements that I want to take with breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Did I take my probiotic? Did I take my vitamin? Those type of things I'm kind of setting up right here as like my health and wellness center. And my top 5 would be what I really want to accomplish today. So I'm going to pull my top 5 from my brain dump and my bullet journal, and deciding what's the top priority that I need to do. I could put those here. Again, this was just dry run for a sample day. I can use a hydrate stamp. You know, when I go to do the next day, I can change it up and I can actually set it up any which way I want. So I'm going to work on different ways of setting up this planning area for me. Now, talking about the calendar. So what I did was I printed out my calendar. I don't know if you can see it here, but I printed out my Google Calendar in a month format. I attached it to 2 pieces of the grid paper, washi taped it so that it could easily fold in. But when I want to look at it and when I need to plan what I have to do, whether I'm looking at my brain dump or whatever, I can quickly look to see what I got going on my calendar. I also, behind this, I also tipped in my week. So this was, for example, for last week. You can see the different appointments and stuff that I have, and I can better plan out what I want to accomplish when. So my idea is to, at the beginning of each week, tip in my weekly calendar and my monthly calendar to help with this whole little planner section. So what I forgot to mention is, going back to my bullet journal, is the reason why I wanted these pocket folder areas is that if I have something on my list in here that I need to accomplish that needs something, like if I have to bring a receipt back, or if I have to do something with at the store, or I have a note or a grocery list or something, I can stick them right here, and I know they have to deal with the bullet journal. If I have some extra things that I have to worry about planning wise, I can stick them in here. If I have a date I need to write in my calendar, I can stick it in here, knowing that the pocket folders can account for those type of things inside my planner. So going back to how I did the tip-ins, is I actually had, and we'll see if we can check this out. So this is the actual Moleskine, all right? I actually had an empty Moleskine that I pulled the cover off of that I used for the week tip-in. And then I just did 2 pieces of paper for the month tip-in. So what I'll probably do for next week's is I will probably just cut this off and re-tip in 2 more printouts. I don't need this on here anymore. I can probably easily, it's washi tape, just peel it off, and let's see, I can easily just peel it off and then print off new and put the new one in there. So that's what I have going on in this section. In this section I have, this is I call this my brain dump, and for those of you who may not know, I am a Doctor Who fan, so you probably will see a lot of stuff in my videos with Doctor Who. But I did a video, it's on my channel, where I picked up some notebooks from the Dollar Tree. And these were the sample notebooks that I got. And you'll notice that one's in a larger size and one's in this smaller field note size. They're slightly wider than what the Moleskines are. And Again, I did a comparative in my video, but I just want to take this one out just to show you that you can really work planners and stuff with very inexpensive books. This is a nice thick book. It's got decent paper in it. And so what I did, guys, is I just took it, lined it up to one of these. All right, and I just measured it, and I took I have a little cutting tool, like just one of those Fiskar ones, and just took a few pages at a time, measured it, and just cut it down. So that is what this is. This is actually one of these notebooks, actually this particular notebook with the flip-flops. And I cut it down, and then on top of cutting it down, I did Mod Podge. And so I Mod Podged some different scrap paper, just different colors of blues, put some washi tape around, and then I printed off this from the internet and put a little quote on it, which actually goes around to the back, and Mod Podged it. And so now this is going to be my scribble area and my brain dump. So when it comes to brain dumping, I'll keep this as simple as possible, but I can do a separate video if you want with a little bit more detail. Just let me know, leave it in the comments below. But for this brain dump, what I basically do is anytime something comes in my mind and I don't want to forget it, I jot it down in here. I label it, whether it has to do with my business, whether it has to do with my YouTube channel, whether it has to do with my personal life. I just start dumping things into here. If I have to take notes on something, I scribble it in here first until I decide what I want to do with it. Then what I do is once I get all that information down, that's just the stuff that's in my mind. Then I go through my email box, and is there anything that I haven't already organized or allocated to my Evernote, because I use Evernote for a lot of planning stuff too. Does it need to be accounted for inside this area? So this one book I will dump everything into it and try to categorize it as far as, like I said, if it's my business, if it's home, if it's a phone call I need to make. And then when I'm all said and done, I go back through all this and then I create my bullet journal accordingly, and actually use my bullet journal to best prioritize what I need done and for what. And if it's for business, if it's for personal, if it's for, you know, one of my volunteer organizations, that type of thing. So that is the brain dump area. When this book is filled, I don't toss it. I just pull it out and I just archive it in my office. But it's always there. It's always available in case I need to go back and look at it. If I need to rip out a piece of paper, I can. If I need to make a shopping list, I can cut out a piece of paper. It's not the end of the world. Again, these things, this cost $1 at the Dollar Tree, and it came with a little field note size one. I picked up a ton of these, so I shouldn't have to worry for a really long time whether I need to get new Moleskines or not. So then this last book here, and it's going to probably end up being a new book because I have to redo a lot of these tabs because I don't do Young Living anymore, and I'm doing something else with my TV watching and that kind of stuff. So this is going to be more of my, you know, my reference book, my lists, you know, books I want to read, things I want to purchase online, you know, that type of stuff is going to all be on here inside this book. So this is going to be kind of my little reference book. The last section here, I use these, I actually got these little plastic. I'll take this out so you can take a look at it. It actually used to be a little bit longer. It would hold the size of like a traditional trifold brochure for a business, but I took my little cutter and I just cut it down to size, and I figured this was perfect for keeping receipts in. I'm big on scanning receipts or stamping pictures of receipts, so until I have an opportunity to do that, I have several different places inside here where I can stick a receipt, and I have a home side and a personal business side. And then I just threw in this little mini composition book, thinking that if I needed to jot little notes, or if I wanted to decide to use this could be used for like a mileage log if you're tracking things for business, that kind of stuff. So I just kind of put that there for now. It may end up coming out. I haven't quite decided on that yet. So that's kind of the quick overall setup that I have for this particular planner. Now I also have two other planners, or actually I should say 3 other planners. So we have this one, and I don't have the other ones here with me, but I'll do separate videos on those. But I do have a Hobonichi, a faux Hobonichi that I created, and I do that for my daily journaling. I do have a 8.5 by 11 large size arc planner, and I mainly use that. That stays at my office, and it stays on my office desk because it houses my call log for my business clients, my tax deadline list for my business clients. It has some papers in it, for some writing paper in it for when I have client meetings. I can pull those out and have 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper for taking notes for my client meetings. And then it also has a I have a system that I set up inside of it for my bill payment system. So I take these project folders and I label them and I keep them all in the front of it so that when I get a bill, I can put it in by week and actually know exactly every Monday when I go into work, I can pull a folder and actually know what bills need to be paid that week. So that particular one stays at my office. I did a video on my other channel a while ago on that particular planner. So if you want to see a video just to get an idea of what I'm talking about for that size planner, I'll put a link in the description below. And then the last planner that I have yet to set up, I just got it last week, and it is this size, but it is an ARC planner. So it's the smaller size ARC planners that you can get. It is pink and black, and the pink is leather, and I am going to set that up strictly for my YouTube/blogging planner, and that will be a whole different, I really needed to pull that whole part of my planning out of this and have it totally separate. So once I get that set up, and that, by the way, is going to be all Hello Kitty. I'm going to set that up all Hello Kitty since I have so much Hello Kitty stuff. So look forward to that video. That will be coming up in the near future. So again, if you guys have any questions, I appreciate you hanging out with me and checking out my new setup for 2015. As I start tweaking it, I will be probably popping up some pictures up on Instagram. So make sure you're following me on Instagram. I'll put the link to my Instagram is in the description box below. And other than that, thanks for coming out. If you want to hang out with me a little bit longer and check out some of my other videos, make sure you subscribe, and that way you can get notified when I upload new videos. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys, and I'll be talking to you soon. Bye, guys.